Hello and welcome to another episode of today's Connect and Grow Coffee Talks podcast. I have my colleague Sven with me. We already did a session last year together, and today we would like to talk a little bit about how to get started with collaborative modeling because we have also quite some colleagues who we've been asked also at conferences, but hey, there's this fancy COMO, even the abbreviation there. There's so much material. It's easy to get overwhelmed. So what's the best way to start? And that's basically the topic. But for those who don't know Sven yet, maybe you want to introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah, hi, I'm Sven. I'm also with Comsysto Reply. Thanks for having me again. I'm also a practitioner of collaborative modeling and domain-driven design.
Thank you. So then let's dive into topic. How was it for you, Sven, to get started? Maybe we also have a Miro board that we would like to share to go over some resources. How was it for you? How would you like to start? What can you recommend to someone who's new to the topic?
Yeah, so starting with this topic collaborative modeling and domain-driven design, which goes hand in hand, I think, can be a little bit overwhelming because there's so much content out there, which is good on the one hand, but it can be hard to start. So I think it was also our experience in the past that this question comes up quite often, like, what are good starting resources? Like I heard about this thing called collaborative modeling or DDD. How can I actually get started?
Perfect. Yeah, maybe just one personal story. So how I started with collaborative modeling was in the end with event storming. So I came to know about collaborative modeling via a dedicated method. So that was my introduction point. But I think if I would redo it again, I would start with either the domain-driven design starter modeling process or the book Collaborative Modeling Design, because they really give a nice introduction of why is it actually useful, when does it fit best, and what could be ways or methods to then look into detail.
That's a good point. Let's have a look at this DDD starter modeling process, which also has been a great help for me when I get started. So it's basically a GitHub project. So it's hosted on GitHub by some people out of the domain-driven design and Como community. And it's a really good starting point to get an overview of all the methods and where you can actually use them during the project lifecycle. Like there's this nice picture here, which shows you like all the phases of a typical software project. And then if you jump into one of those, for instance, just take the discovery phase, then it will like give you hints on which method you could use, for instance, event storming or domain storytelling. So this is a very good starting resource that we can recommend.
Yeah. And if you scroll up again, there's also a section where they give some example use cases, like kicking off a greenfield project or kicking off a new feature. And here, or access to the current state of your project. So this can also give you some insights of, okay, hey, where am I currently? What is my challenge that I'm facing? And then you can jump into the different methods that are actually relevant for you. And the nice thing of basically all collaborative modeling methods is that the method itself is pretty easy. So understanding and getting to know the method is not the magic about it, but actually understanding more the situation and which goal you want to achieve, and also then getting the experience and just trying it out, that makes the magic come into play. And the tools or the different methods are more like, they're like a tool set that makes it easy for you to tackle your topic. They give you like a language that you can talk, that you can share between tech and business people.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. So the methods themselves are often designed to be very approachable. So you don't need much, you just need the right people. And the methodology is usually very simple because it needs to be understood by all kinds of different roles. All right, so let's take a look at some books that are out there. So there are obviously the classics like the Blue DDD book by Eric Evans, but we are explicitly recommending some other books here, which we think are more approachable, also for people that are just getting started. There's one very nice book that just came out, this Collaborative Software Design. And I have to admit, I didn't finish it yet. I just got started, but I really liked the introduction chapters, which give like very good hints on when to use Como, like the collaborative software design methods, and what are the benefits of it. So, Beja, did you already finish this book or just got started?
Yeah, I actually jumped from chapter to chapter, so depending on the parts that I've been interested, but it covers the whole process of getting started, how to build up the whole workshop around it, and then how to get people together. It also covers quite nicely different like shadows people have, like these unseen interdynamic part. So how to handle also different, maybe difficult people, or if people are afraid of change, and it gives very nice hints and heuristics if you want to start as a facilitator. So that's quite a nice book to really get into this collaborative modeling design if you're an architect, or if you're maybe also team lead, but also if you're just a software engineer in your team and would like to do more collaborative modeling sessions. It gives you a very nice introduction and some tools at hand that help you in facilitating.
So we can definitely recommend this one. It's quite new, I think. It just got out like a couple of weeks ago or months ago. Then on the more technical side of domain-driven design, there's one book I can really recommend. This is Learning Domain-Driven Design by Vlad Kononov. And it's really very approachable if you're into the whole software design and implementation part of DDD. It gives you very good examples and hands-on approach. So it does start with the discovery and how you discover your business domain and then how you slice it up, but it goes much further and it shows you how to actually build running software. So I really like this book and can recommend it to anyone who wants to get started.
Yeah, totally. I'm there with you.
Okay, then we have some random resources, or not random, but some assorted links we want to leave you. There's this virtual DDD community, which is also a great place to find resources to get started with this whole topic. It's basically a virtual meetup that you can join. So they have regular sessions also very practical ones, and you can also watch the recordings on YouTube. And they do a lot of modeling online together, which I think is really great to get a feeling of how this works. And they also have some resources here, like blog posts, books, and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so if you're not that much into reading books, this would be a great start to get into the topics and to get some also examples on how to use the different methods.
Yeah, and you can actually join those sessions and really also do the hands-on modeling together with the people. So it's really nice. Then, of course, there's event storming, one of the most popular, I think, for collaborative modeling, or the one method that you will stumble upon the most. And this is just one of the sites. This is the eventstorming.com site. I think this is the official event storming site, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, right. So there are quite some nice resources. So if you scroll down, you get more details on how the method works. They also linked the book of Alberto Bernolini, who was like the founder of event storming, which is also very nice and gives a lot of tips on how to actually facilitate an event storming. When is it useful? Also, what are the different levels of event storming? And when I got started with event storming, it really helped me a lot to prepare sessions and to actually successfully facilitate also my first workshops.
Yeah, I think it's a very good resource also when you did your first event storming workshops. Then you can go to this facilitator guide or book, and then you get like really good tips on which areas you can improve. So next one would be event modeling. Event modeling is another method, so don't confuse it with event storming. It's currently getting a lot of traction also on LinkedIn and on YouTube. We don't have that much experience with this method. We did a couple of small labs on it, but there's also an official site called eventmodeling.org. And there's also a very fresh book that came out, written by Martin Dilger, on understanding event sourcing. I haven't yet started it, but I heard very good things about it. So if you want to get in the topic of event modeling specifically, which gets you very close or which enables you to get to running software very quickly, these are two resources we can also leave in the links.
Yeah, and another very known German person in the whole DDD and collaborative modeling community is Michael Blöd. I've also been recently to a domain-driven design training by him. So he has very, very cool talks on different aspects of domain-driven design and also collaborative modeling. So feel free to check them out. Here are the slides on his website. He also wrote a domain-driven design book, which I can recommend. So there's definitely something to check out. We will link that also in the show notes.
There are also some very nice sessions on YouTube that you can watch. I remember one which goes into the details of design level event storming and how you can actually design your aggregates. So if you want to go into that direction, you can look it up.
One last minor thing, just because facilitation is often on-site, at least we mostly try to do it on-site because we just have the best experience and the best outcomes. One thing that can help you, especially in facilitating event storming on-site, is Vocabulary, because it helps you to really design easy to grasp and understand visual flip charts or drawings that help you in bringing across what you actually want to say.
Yeah, there are also other companies offering this, but it helps a lot to be able to visualize things in the room and to get some basics on visualization and moderation techniques. This can be very helpful when you start facilitating these sessions.
And last but not least, there also are some great conferences that we can recommend. So one is the Domain-Driven Design Europe, which was my first conference to go to. It was in Amsterdam, now it's in Antwerpen, and it really offers high quality workshops, talks to everything that is related to domain-driven design.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to get an overview, also what the community is all about. And before the official conference, there's also basics trainings, which offer also introductory level trainings for all kinds of workshops. So yeah, definitely recommend it. Then, of course, there's the Como Camp, which is quite new. I think it's the third time this year or fourth time. I'm not sure. It's Unconference in Vienna. And we can also recommend this one because it's a very nice atmosphere and the community gets together. And I think it's also a very good place to ask questions or also get kind of introductory material on some of the formats or the workshop types, right?
Yeah, totally. And it's nice because you don't have the situation that there is this famous speaker and you feel like a groupie just coming to their talk, but everyone is the same and you just have sessions together and really get input from all the known people in the community and you just talk and exchange on eye-to-eye level.
Yeah, it's happening again in May this year, so you
We'll
could
be
think
there.
about joining.
Looking
Yeah, we
forward
will
to.
be there. We already bought our tickets. Then in the last part of the year, there's the Kandinsky conference. You went to this, I think, last year, Reja?
Yes, I was there last year, so it's a 2 days conference with the third day of an open space. So you basically have a combination of the Domain-Driven Design Europe and the Como Camp, both in 2 days of conference with really nice talks. And then the last day is the open space. So you can ask all the questions, bring up the own topics that maybe arose during the other 2 days before.
So that's it for like a small collection of introductory stuff. If you have material that was not mentioned here, please drop it in some of the comments. We were always interested to collect this kind of material also for our internal use.
And if you would like to know more, always feel free to reach out to us. We would love to discuss your challenges or maybe go into more detail on maybe some of the methods that we use on a regular basis. We're very happy to exchange there. Feel free to reach out, ask questions. Looking forward to that. And with that, I would say thank you very much and looking forward to the next session.
Thank you. Bye.